I like him, man. He's a good guy, good fighter, and he has all the qualities.
What does it take to be pound for pound king?
Duck.
He's at Inoue. He's at
color hair. No, he is good.
21-0, undefeated. He's a 3-division champion. He's a big puncher. He was champion 112.
Bam, a puncher. He is good.
Who's that?
Inoue. He's Japanese.
Good. His placements and everything.
Footwork.
Yeah.
Defense.
Who can take advantage of that attitude, of that style, and what it presents as far as opportunities when you're as technical as Inoue is in placing punches in the act and hard punches in such an accurate way. But
Sugar Ray Leonard believes that Naoya Inoue stands as the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world today, acknowledging the presence of other elite fighters but still placing Inoue above them because of his exceptional skill, dominance, and consistent performances at the highest level.
Pound for pound king now, Crawford or Inoue, after the fights that we have seen recently. It's been some good ones.
How can you not say yes? But you know, they all are nice. They all are very, let's say, experienced. I like put it this way, I like what I see.
Wade Plemons says that Naoya Inoue brings a relentless fighting style into the ring, refusing to back down even after being dropped. He highlighted how Inoue comes back stronger, keeps pushing forward, and consistently delivers thrilling, high-energy performances that fans genuinely love to watch.
Him and you go, oh, well, if you got dropped in your career, you're not as good as Floyd ever was. Like, I hate that kind of stuff because Floyd also wasn't out here TKOing and KOing late into his career like I assume that Inoue is going to do, or that the more aggressive fighters will do, right? And again, nothing against Floyd. He's one of, if not the greatest boxer ever. All I'm saying is being dropped in this fight doesn't take away from the pound for pound talks for me. Like, people are going to say, oh, well, Bud never got dropped in his career. Like, okay, that doesn't really take anything away from what I think the special thing that Inoue is doing here and why I believe he deserves to be in that pound for pound conversation. He may not be number one. He may not be number two. Depending on where you place him, I still think the heavier weight classes do, no pun intended, weigh a little more just because the natural population of the world is that size. So you're going to get more people that are probably a little bit more skilled based on the numbers of people that walk around at that weight, that participate in the sport, that become high level at the sport, just numbers game. But it does not take away from what Inoue.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. said that Naoya Inoue should come to America and fight, calling him a hell of a good fighter and showing clear respect for his talent and accomplishments.
Twice. Donaire. So Donaire was giving him fits in the first fight. And if I'm not mistaken, Donaire was somewhere close to 40 or 40 years old when he fought him the first time. Whereas, and he was in his 20s.
This kind of praise reflects strong respect coming from one of the most dominant and undefeated champions in boxing history. Mayweather's comments underline Naoya Inoue's elite-level skill, his growing global reputation, and his rising recognition as one of the top fighters in modern boxing across all weight divisions.
Should have knocked him out in the first fight. Fighting a guy, you know, like I said before, you know, at that age. What I need Inoue to do is, I need him to come fight in the U.S., random blood and urine testing. I think he's a hell of a fighter. A hell of a fighter. I won't take nothing away from him. Hell of a fighter. And I like him because I see he take a lot of my stuff from my plate.
Teddy Atlas explained that Naoya Inoue is on a path similar to Manny Pacquiao, pointing out that while his rise through multiple weight classes is impressive, each step up will bring new challenges that could test his limits despite his incredible potential and ongoing journey.
Going towards like a Pacquiao, I don't know if he can go that many weight classes. There is a limit to your body structure, to your skeleton, to your, you know, the size that you can properly handle that extra weight and still be efficient and effective in this game. There is a limit. Another great fight, he didn't do as many, but Lomachenko. And you saw, you know, he won at 3 different weight classes. And then you saw a limit to how far up he could go. I think And then
Timothy Bradley said that after watching Naoya Inoue defeat Marlon Tapales, he strongly believes Inoue is the best fighter in boxing today. Bradley added that Inoue is clearly the #1 pound-for-pound boxer in the world, praising his dominance, precision, and his ability to consistently break down elite opponents across multiple weight divisions with complete control.
Speed, just the athleticism of the explosiveness, the speed, the hand-eye coordination, everything that comes with Inoue, man. It just was too much. Just too much. I told you, I was a great athlete. However, Manny Pacquiao was a better athlete. I told you, Crawford is a fantastic athlete. He's a better athlete than Canelo. I told you that was going to be the difference too. Same thing here. As Inoue travels up divisions, right? He's going to meet that athlete that's going to be just as athletic as him. Right now, off the top of my head, I don't know who that guy is, right? But that's when the size is going to become a factor for him. I remember saying this about Lomachenko years ago. And everybody was just like, man, you hating.
Michaela Mayer and Sean Porter both expressed strong admiration for Naoya Inoue, stating that he is currently the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. They pointed to his dominance, technical skill, and consistent performances against top-level competition across multiple divisions. However, they also believe that to further cement his global legacy, Inoue should come to America and face bigger-name opponents. Competing on the biggest stage against elite fighters in the United States would give him even more exposure and allow a wider audience to fully recognize and appreciate his talent and greatness.
Compare him to everybody in the fight game right now.
No, I think he's definitely up there pound for pound. I mean, he's super explosive. He's stopping everybody.
Yeah.
He's a little bit less of a presence here in the United States, so it's hard to really follow him and become a huge fan. But no, definitely rate him. He's a great fighter.
You feel like he has to come here to the States?
I mean, this is he's obviously doing a great job in Japan, right? He doesn't necessarily need to. He's making the money. He's gonna, he's doing what he's got to do. Yeah. But there's a difference. I think there's something special about making it in the United States. It's a little bit more difficult. It's a harder market. So it's a challenge. Yeah. It's a challenge. If you really made it, you've made it in the United States.
And you've had 2 fights in England?
I've had 2 years of fighting in England.
2 years of fighting.
Yeah, I'm done with that.
So you done?
Well, unless I have to down the line, yeah. But for now, yeah, back in America.
How was that experience opposed to fighting here in the States, though?
I really liked it. The UK audience really.
Paulie Malignaggi gave a detailed breakdown of why Naoya Inoue is such an exciting and elite fighter. He explained that when Inoue finds himself in trouble or even gets dropped, he doesn't become defensive or overly cautious. Instead, he increases his aggression, stepping forward behind a strong, purposeful jab while actively trying to close the distance on his opponent. Malignaggi emphasized that unlike many fighters who try to survive tough moments by avoiding exchanges, Inoue actually looks for more engagement and isn't afraid to trade under pressure.
Defensively safer, make sure I win this fight, which of course, dude, somebody like me would try that, you know what I mean? I'll be honest with you, I was tough, but I was looking for the less contact approach, right? Inoue looked for more contact after getting dropped, and this is what makes him fun. He gets up, he starts to establish that power jab first and foremost, but then he starts coming forward, starts walking Cardenas down, pushing him back on the jab. I thought the issue Cardenas had was he wasn't jabbing with Inoue. You don't want to hook with the hooker, even though Cardenas' hook is a very good left hook in and of itself. You don't want to hook with the hooker, but even though Cardenas was trying to hold tight and whip left hooks in there, but you got to at least jab with the jab, because once Inoue made that adjustment, started power jabbing, it was almost like it was an imbalance there. Now Inoue's jab was starting to work in overdrive, and nothing was coming back from the jab side, from the straight punches side from Cardenas, and those jabs were busting up Cardenas and moving him back, and it allowed Inoue to start walking him down. And what happens when you got him on the back foot? Now you can start putting some combinations behind the jab.
He establishes a strong, commanding jab to force his opponents backward, then builds sharp combinations behind it. Once he takes control of the distance, he begins mixing in precise body shots, slowly breaking his opponent down and setting up even more damaging attacks to the head. These smart adjustments, especially the way he uses the jab to control range before targeting the body, create a rhythm that opponents struggle to deal with. This fearless offensive mindset, combined with high-level technical skill, is what makes Naoya Inoue so exciting to watch and has helped turn him into a global boxer boxing star admired by fans all around the world.
And especially with the fact that Inoue is not as devastating to the head at these higher weight classes, you got to sort of soften up the opponent. Once he wasn't doing that early on. I think that's why Cardenas who took a couple of shots and was like, all right, you know what, I can take this guy's shots. I'm going to trade with this guy, and he ended up doing well. But once Inoue was able to back up Cardenas, and he used that jab to back up, that was the first adjustment. Starting to use that pump power jab. Second adjustment is now once you're backing off, start throwing those combinations and using those combinations to get to the body. And when he started going to the body, he started softening Cardenas up. And once Cardenas was softened up, then those headshots do start to take effect. They start to take more effect on you, because now you're getting hit and you're feeling everything a little bit more. You're slowing down. You're not able to resist as much as far as punch resistance, and you're also not able to throw back as much. Cardenas didn't have a high output. He was trying to sort of save his energy and put everything into one big shot a few times, which also kills energy. So I'm assuming that that's probably why he didn't have a big output. He was probably trying to.
Henry Cejudo gave a detailed analysis of the fight between Naoya Inoue and Luis Neri, explaining how the momentum shifted throughout the bout. He noted that early on, Neri found success landing sharp counter shots and even managed to score a clean knockdown with a fast, well-timed left hook that caught Inoue off guard.
He was surprised by Cardenas' speed in the first place. The left hook from Cardenas in particular, he was firing out with rapid pace. And what we saw was, in this round, Inoue had him backed up, he threw his own shot, he left his hands low, and Cardenas dipped down. Inoue had his lead hand low, his right hand was low, and what he did was Cardenas, he kept his head low in the pocket, and he just dipped his left hand over the top and hit Inoue clean on the chin and knocked Inoue down. And it was a really good shot. Inoue took it clean on the chin, and Inoue's obviously got a good chin. Only the second time, I believe, in his career that he's actually been down Inoue. And he got up, and Cardenas tried to stick it on him, but Inoue survived the round, and we continued from there. And then again in round 3, I felt that Cardenas came out very strong, counter-punching really well. Inoue had the greater volume most of the rounds, but Cardenas landing the cleaner work in that round 3 in particular. Now I'll pull up my scorecard so you can see how I had it at the time of the stoppage. So Inoue round 1, Cardenas had the knockdown in 2, round 3 was Cardenas, then 4 Inoue, I had 5 Cardenas, 6 Inoue, and in 6 Inoue was really starting to hurt Cardenas, I felt. He was landing some good counter shots.
Despite this, Inoue showed real resilience by getting back to his feet and surviving the round. Henry Cejudo emphasized that while Neri continued to land clean counters, Inoue kept up a higher work rate and began making crucial adjustments as the fight progressed. He started targeting the body with accurate, damaging shots that gradually broke his opponent down. What stood out most, according to Henry, was Inoue's intelligence and ability to adapt in real time. He adjusted his positioning, improved his defense against the left hook, and managed distance far more effectively as the rounds went on. By taking Neri into deeper waters, Inoue reduced his opponent's effectiveness and control. Ultimately, his sharper punches, consistent body work, and in-fight adjustments led to the stoppage, proving his elite boxing IQ and championship-level composure inside the ring.
And you see a lot of guys who are tough, who, they get outboxed, they get beaten up, but they're still in there. Inoue's got it, but he's also brilliant. There's nothing this guy doesn't have. He's got the chin, he's got the gas tank, he's got the boxing IQ, he's got the power. He puts himself in there in dangerous situations. He's entertaining. There's nothing not to love about this guy. He's absolutely exceptional. And I think in contrast to everything else we saw this weekend, it just felt like an incredible viewing experience watching him in there tonight. And before I move on, I have to say credit to Cardenas, because like I said before, the guy went in there, he gave it a proper go. He properly challenged himself, and he went out like a warrior, but that guy will get more fights because of that. And full props to him, because he helped to make the spectacle that it was, and I'm sure Inoue will be grateful for the fight Cardenas made it too. He pushed Inoue all the way, he gave himself a genuine chance of winning those belts, and you can give Cardenas nothing but praise. And at the end of the day, all it was that Inoue was just a bit better than him. There's nothing else to say about it really, and I think I'd happily see a rematch, not because I think Cardenas wins it, but because it was so damn entertaining. So when you do that, all I'm saying is when you're Cardenas, you set yourself up for future opportunities.
Ariel Helwani says that Naoya Inoue is truly irreplaceable in today's boxing world, highlighting his rare blend of skill, power, and consistency. He believes Inoue stands above all other fighters as the best pound-for-pound boxer right now. According to Helwani, it is not just about winning fights, but the way Inoue dominates opponents with precision, timing, and intelligence. His performances consistently separate him from the rest of the competition, making him a unique and exceptional talent in the sport. That is why Helwani confidently places him at the very top of boxing globally.
right? It's him, Usyk, Crawford. Everyone probably has Usyk number one now. But it does seem like every time one of those guys fights, they kind of leapfrog the others just momentarily, while we're prisoners of the moment. I love watching him fight. I'm excited to watch him fight.
Yeah, but there'll be no jump for Inoue this time.
Well, yes.
Minus 5,000, even if he knocks the guy out in the first minute, the first round, there's no jump. What I do respect for Inoue is that at least he's still fighting. I mean, he's had a couple of cancellations against Sam Goodman, and he could easily say, I'm not fighting, let's just move on and we'll fight someone big in America or in Saudi Arabia. Obviously heavily linked to be on a Riyadh season card, but he still wants to stay active. The thing now is, though, we now want to see some super fights, because there are super fight opponents out there. Nakatani's one that everyone's been screaming about. Let that fight happen, right? Whether it be in Japan or...
Wade Plemons says that Naoya Inoue is still a true monster in boxing, proving his dominance over and over again. He points out that many people doubted Inoue going into fights like the one against Stephen Fulton, yet Inoue shut those doubts down by dominating and stopping him in convincing fashion. According to Plemons, Inoue is not just winning fights, he is finishing opponents with authority, showing elite level power, timing, and skill. He also highlights Inoue's achievements across multiple weight divisions, where he has become undisputed and continued to dominate elite competition. While some fans call for super fights against much bigger names, Plemons believes moving too far up in weight would be unrealistic due to Inoue's natural size, despite how great he is.
Massive deal. And yes, you could say that's at the end of Nonito's kind of run year, but I've talked to Nonito and I don't think he's anywhere near done. He's still a monster. He's still with the shits. And of course, he's a legend in the sport. But I heard the same things when Stephen Fulton came over, and people were talking about Stephen Fulton was going to take him down, and in a way, washed him in 8 rounds as well. He's not just winning fights, he's winning by stoppage. He's TKOing fools. He's knocking them dead. And this is just another example of that with Luis Neri. It's like you have a guy that's this dominant, again, across 3 weight classes now, and undisputed at 2 of those weight classes. It starts to become like, what else can he do? And people want him to move up, but let's be honest, he started his career at 108 pounds? Now sitting at 122, he's 31 years old. If you talk about super fights that are out there, you think about...
Sean Porter discussed with Sean Zittel how Naoya Inoue was slightly underestimated in a fight where opponents seemed to rely too much on their own durability. Porter explained that Inoue was a heavy favorite for a reason, and the result ultimately played out exactly as expected. He described Inoue as one of the most explosive fighters in boxing today, placing him alongside elite punchers like David Benavidez. Porter added that Inoue's real challenge is finding evenly matched opponents, because many of his fights become predictable due to clear skill gaps and one-sided betting odds. He also pointed out how difficult it can be to fully measure dominance without consistent elite-level competition across the board. Looking ahead, Porter mentioned the possibility of Inoue fighting in the United States, potentially at Madison Square Garden, calling it a huge moment for boxing fans and a major opportunity to test him against top American contenders on a bigger global stage.
Like Michaela said, is one of the most explosive fighters. I think Gervonta comes to mind too, but I think maybe the most explosive fighter in boxing. Do you think?
Yeah, no, definitely up there. Yeah, for sure. I just want to see him against people that we know.
Yes, in the
you know, like we can really compare. I think that's a lot of a problem right now with boxing is like you don't. I mean, you're getting it with the women, obviously, but not so much with the men when it comes to like what an equal level playing field for these fighters. Like, there's always one person that is way ahead when it comes to like the stats. You know, like who's going to win the fight. Like everyone kind of knows who's going to win the fight
at the betting odds.
Yeah, the betting odds. That's right.
Is there plans to bring him to America? Anybody?
Yeah, his next fight is in America.
His next fight.
Yeah, that's what Top.
Thank God.
They confirmed it. And you know the Americans, Angelo Leo, Bruce Carrington, they have to.
Teddy Atlas says that while Terence Crawford is a great fighter, Naoya Inoue is doing something truly extraordinary in boxing. He explains that Inoue has already moved up multiple weight classes and remained highly effective at every level, showing rare combinations of skill, power, and adaptability. However, Atlas also points out that every fighter eventually reaches a natural limit when moving up in weight, and he suggests that Inoue is getting closer to that conversation as he continues to climb through divisions.
To see really if he could do the extraordinary and go up as far as Crawford wants to go up now with Canelo, so that would give us a little light into the question you're asking, how Crawford does. If he does good, then you can start to say, all right, then maybe Inoue can go up a couple more. He's already gone up in an extraordinary way. The classes that he's gone up and been so effective.
This was today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss any future uploads. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Naoya Inoue is truly the #1 pound-for-pound fighter right now? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.